fermentation, movies and inebriation with films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation with Leo, Kevman, and Mike.
Pull it out.
And recording just in time to hear you pull it out.
Oh, he's pulling it out. Go for it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Films and Fermentation. Yes, we are Films and Fermentation, not whatever you thought you were listening to when you tuned in just now. This is episode 181. We're calling this one Against the Grain because we are talking about actors acting against type in their films. That's right. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, #1 pop culture podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends like talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. In this episode, we're talking about those moments when actors break free from their usual roles and leave us all saying, wait, they did that? It's like seeing your sweet grandma win a bar fight. Shocking, yet oddly satisfying. From comedians going dark to action heroes showing real emotion, these performances prove that Hollywood loves a good surprise. So grab a drink and get ready for some career curveballs that actually paid off. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by joining us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. We are now part of the PodNation Media Network on Roku. So if you own Roku box and download the PodNation Media app, you can watch us on Roku now.
I did last night.
You did last night? You see our bonus episode?
I watched the bonus episode.
The bonus episode actually came out really good. And I'm like kind of mad I didn't think of the wine and milk thing earlier because it ended up being a pretty funny episode. We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members only content. I forgot to write a joke about Mike's $1 a month contribution thing. It's so much else to do. I forgot to write a Mike joke.
Oh,
for $1 a month, yes, we will. We'll come up with something fun that's Mike related for you. Go to patreon.com/films and fermentation or purchase our merchandise, as I said, at teespring.com. You can text us at 904-867-4466. That's a direct text line. You can give us any comments, criticisms, questions, suggestions, or just say hi. 904-867-4466. I'd like to give out two quick shout outs before we move on here. I'd like to give a shout out to Kevin and Jason at the KJ&A podcast. They have been members of our Good Pods PodNation United group on Twitter since we started, and they have now joined us on the PodNation Media Network.
Nice.
So the network is growing, bringing in the KJ&A podcast. Thanks to them for joining, and thanks to again Jesse, DJ Scoob at the Undiscovered Entrepreneur for doing all the work he's doing as the marketing guy for Roku now.
Group hug.
And I'd like to give another shout out to Megan Nicole at the Vigilante Vibes podcast, who recently started following us on all of our socials and podcast links. So we appreciate the follow. We gave her a follow back on all of her links as well.
Cool.
So what are we drinking tonight, gentlemen?
I'll go first.
Go first.
It's still cleaning out the fridge time. One thing about the holidays is you always tend to have a little left over.
Little?
I think this kind of polishes off the holiday brews. I have the Sam Adams Oaked Vanilla Porter from their variety pack, for their winter variety pack. This is a 5.8% alcohol by volume. They describe it as complex and malty with a hearty, warming character. This porter features notes of vanilla and oak, hints of coffee, and a touch of sweetness. OVP might just be your holiday party new MVP. And
Is
as
that
you
a
can
new
see,
one? Because I don't know if I've ever had that one before.
I think this was one of the newer ones in this variety pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a variety pack exclusive.
Huh.
And when I chug that down, I'll be following it with a Bolero Snort Cocoa Pebble Bulls.
Bless you. Oh,
Gesundheit.
oh, we got another one. Here we go.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Whoosh.
Like the rest of us, where it just turns into an epidemic after one sneeze.
Man, I think I pulled something in my back.
Oh,
This
no
is
joke.
a breakfast porter with cocoa, vanilla, and milk sugar. So I'm really doing it up with the sweetness tonight. And they're out of Carlstad. Carlstad? Yeah, Carlstad, New Jersey. This is a breakfast milk porter, and it is 6.5% alcohol by volume.
You pulled a muscle in your back sneezing. I pulled a muscle in my hip the other day lifting up an empty plastic container.
Really?
This is a small Tupperware container that you get from the Chinese food restaurants.
Michael, go ahead. Can you beat that?
I can. I stretched today. I got a cramp in my ribs.
I do that all
I've
the
done
time.
that. I have done that before too.
It's the most
Right
painful
under your
thing
ear.
in the world.
I got a Charlie horse in my ankle the other night, putting on my ankle braces, which are supposed to stop me from getting Charlie horses.
Sucks
Yes,
getting old, guys.
You're listening to the Films and Fermentation and Geriatric Podcast. I am drinking. Oh, Mike, tell me what you're drinking tonight.
These drinks we drink because we ache. We're getting
Yeah.
old. This is why we drink. We're medicating. We're self-medicating.
Yeah, this is all
Well,
medication.
I am celebrating.
Okay.
I am celebrating because
Celebrating the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, baby, and I am drinking some Bird Gang bourbon for it.
Nice.
Go Birds!
We have the Bird Gang champagne. We're gonna bring it over. I guess are you doing the Super Bowl again this year, Mike?
Well, we need to talk about that because we last time I did it, we lost. You did it, but you don't live in that house anymore. So, Kevin, are you hosting?
You guys obviously know I haven't been watching the Eagles, which is why they're winning.
Oh,
The last time they were in the Super Bowl, my brother-in-law reached out, and he knows that I don't watch it just to keep them from losing. He said, "No, we got a big enough lead. You could go ahead, turn it on, and you watch it, enjoy it." And I did, and they lost. So
Yeah, but when they won the Super Bowl, you were at my house.
I
Yes,
was, but you wouldn't let
Remember-
me watch it until they
remember
had a big enough lead.
Yeah, but you also saved that guy's life when he ran out into the street and almost got hit by a car.
so we'll have to
yeah,
discuss it on Saturday.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we have to figure this out what we're going to do for Super Bowl. But I have a bottle of the Birds Gang champagne that I'm saving for a victory.
I'm gonna pick up another bottle since I'm down the street from the distillery of the bourbon because they have a new bottle with Saquon on it.
Oh, nice. The Barkley bourbon.
Yep.
So I figured since we're doing against the grain tonight, outside of your usual type, I'm drinking something I don't normally drink. So usually I'll have a beer or a mixed drink or something. Tonight I'm drinking wine, which I've had wine on the show before, but it's usually like some kind of port or something like that. Tonight I'm drinking a fruit wine, which is against type for me. It's called
You usually don't
Three.
drink the sweet wines.
Yeah, it's called Three Boys Brand. It's from Wagon House Winery, which is here in New Jersey. Mike's gonna love this one. It is a blueberry lemonade wine.
Oh, Adrian can have it.
Mike hates the blueberries. It's actually not bad. It actually tastes pretty good. It's 12.5% alcohol by volume. 80 and I were trying to come up with something that matched the theme tonight against type, and she started naming all these drinks, and they were all things that like I hate or that I would never drink. And I'm like, no, the idea is not to torture me. The idea is to just come up with something I normally wouldn't drink.
I am mixing my bourbon tonight with some ginger ale. I'm not drinking it straight. I do have to work tomorrow.
That's okay.
In Center
I
City.
usually mix mine too. It's fine. I was gonna do rum and Sprite tonight because rum's something I don't normally drink either. And Katie found this bottle and she was like, "Why don't you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can handle that blueberry lemonade."
But
Actually,
why the rum?
Why is the rum always gone?
Yeah, why's that rum always going? Where are we now? Oh, I know where we are. Hold on. I gotta find the video. Here we go.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
I kind of want to re-record that and sing it myself. This week.
I don't know. I don't know if you can pull off that smoky little,
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike. Go ahead, Michael. I know you got to do your. You got to do your second intro. Go for it.
This year.
What you gonna do your second intro?
In film history with Mike.
Just milk them udders, baby.
Got to.
All right.
In 1893, Thomas Edison completes world's first movie studio at West Orange, New Jersey.
I wonder if he stole that from Tesla too.
Yes.
I was actually funny because I was thinking about this the other day, like not the movie studio thing here, but like I wonder what's considered like the first like feature movie. You know, like I would love to look that up and try to figure it out.
I think it's The Great Train Robbery.
Like, I mean, I'm not. I don't know. Like, I gotta like make a distinction when I look it up too. Like, I'm looking for like an actual like full length feature movie and not just like those little like 5-minute clips they used to play in like the 1800s. Like, what would be like the first studio movie? You know?
Yeah, The Great Train Robbery's not as short as 5 minutes, but it's only about
rather short. Yeah,
10 minutes.
Yeah, not the horse galloping down the road.
Yeah. This is research for another show. What's your next one here, sir?
In 1961, John Hudson's film drama The Misfits officially premieres at Lowe's Capitol in New York City after a sneak preview in Reno, Nevada. Garanda Theater. The final movie with both Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe was written by Monroe's husband, Arthur Miller, and also featured Montgomery Clift.
Yeah, this is. I think she passed like not too long after this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for something here. I'm missing. I'm confusing this with a different movie because I was looking for an actor that I thought was in this, but it's a different film. But yeah, this is right before she overdosed, or was murdered by the president, if you believe in the conspiracy theories. You know,
that's why he was shot.
Yeah, was that why he was shot? Because he was banging Marilyn Monroe.
Of course.
What's the next one you got there, sir?
1964, Dr. Strangelove, directed by Stanley Kubrick and starring Peter Sellers and George C. Scott, premieres.
I've heard of this film. You didn't say the full title, though, sir. Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yes, I know. That's not what was on the website, so I just went with it. In 1999, Seth MacFarlane's Family Guy first airs on Fox TV.
So that means this show's been on 30 years now? Over 30 years?
Simpsons are longer.
But... Well, Simpsons, yeah, I knew, but like, also like Family Guy was canceled for a short time too.
Yeah.
So there is like that little like couple of years in between.
It was.
I haven't watched it in a really long time. I used to watch it like religiously, and then watch like a lot of the reruns on like Adult Swim and stuff. But I don't think I've watched it in a really long time. I love the next one.
Too much of this shit to watch.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
Oh, 2004 wardrobe malfunction. Janet Jackson's breast is exposed during the halftime show of Super Bowl 38, resulting in U.S. broadcasters adopting a stronger ad- adherence to FCC censorship guidelines.
Yeah, you can kill a person on TV. You can say shit. You can show people's asses, but God forbid a titty pops out,
A nip slip.
a nip slip. It wasn't even anything like I don't think that bad. Like she was covered. It was just there was no areola. It was just boobage.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh,
I do remember like I was at my friend's house, my friend Ralph that I used to work with at the pharmacy. We were watching it in his house and it happened and I wasn't paying attention because I was like talking to somebody else about something. And somebody went, "Was that Janet Jackson's boob?" And I turned around and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And like your boob just popped out. And I was like, "Seriously?" And then like of course, because I was young, I had to like go and try to find it on the internet later. And the internet
Hey,
wasn't as easy to find porn on the internet back in 1999 or whenever this was, 2004.
it's not like today where you can just rewind live TV.
No, yeah. Now, like then, it was a lot of searching, and then like it took about 18 hours for it to download.
For that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Next one, sir.
2014, the Lego Movie, a computer animated film based on Lego toys, with voices including Chris Pratt and Will Ferrell, premieres in Los Angeles.
Actually, I like the Lego Movie. I thought it was pretty fun.
Mm.
I didn't see the second one. I saw
Oh,
the
dude.
Batman Lego one.
That was funny.
That one was funny. I didn't see the second movie where like the Ninjago one or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the Batman one was funny too. Next one, sir.
In 2018, Marvel film Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler
Googler.
and starring Chadwick Boseman, premieres in LA.
I saw something today that they're planning on a third Black Panther movie.
Yes.
And they're considering recasting the role of T'Challa. And I'm like,
Is-
how? They had his funeral in the second film.
Are they recasting T'Challa or are they recasting the Black Panther? Is this like his son that's grown up?
I don't know. Like they said like the art I didn't read the full article, like just the headline was like recasting T'Challa. Now it could be what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it ended. The second movie ended was you find out he had a son.
Spoiler alert.
But like, I don't know the way it was written. It sounded like they were recasting the character that Boseman played, but it makes me wonder like, is it like a flashback thing because they had his funeral in the second film,
It would
or
make
is it
more
like
sense for them to just give it to his heir?
yeah, or keep Shuri in it like you did in the second movie anyway?
Yeah.
Like she became the Black
Did a
Panther.
Great job. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, this was like it hasn't started filming yet. It's just something that I read about earlier. Must try craft or beer or craft destination for it, sir.
I have a much try beer. This is Cross Pistolas from Brase Brewing Company in Quebec, Canada. This is a brewery that does Belgian strong ales very, very well. And one of the most prized offerings is their take on the Belgian style dark strong ale, pouring nearly black but with a light beige foam. It casts a finely beaded foam topping, dates, prunes, and dark brown sugar, and hints of marzipan lead the aromatics. It's proper to serve this beer from a brandy sniffer or goblet and let it warm a bit from the fridge temperatures. There you go, boys. Hey, Atras Pistolas.
No barnyard funk this week or
No.
caramel prunes or anything like that.
Oh, it is a 9% alcohol by volume.
There's something I knew I wanted to say this when we were doing the This Week in Film History, and I forgot. The third Knives Out movie is now in production. They just announced it today. I really like the first one a lot. The second one was okay, but I would still watch the third one because I like the other ones, so much. So it's in production now, scheduled for either late 2025 or early 2026. It's called Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. It of course stars Daniel Craig as again as Benoit Blanc. But here are the other actors in the film: Glenn Close, Andrew Scott, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Thomas Hayden Church et al. Like that's another pretty good cast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Talk about other exciting things.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer with Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin.
Gentlemen, do we remember? Can we go back in time?
Remember?
Can we go back in time to the late 90s, early 2000s when Pepsi was just all willy nilly with their colas? And, we'll try a Kona Cola and we'll try Crystal Pepsi. And it was clear.
It was clear. And then there was
Yeah.
clear malt liquor.
Well, clear is back, baby. We're bringing back an ale made from Fonio. Most of us know about the clarified cocktail trend, but clear beer? Turns out it's a thing, as a couple of American breweries are proving. A Utah label is the latest behind a new beer made from an ancient grain, and the results are just about colorless. The brewery of note is Kitos, a Finnish-inspired producer based in Salt Lake City. They're among a very, very small group of America that made beer from the West African grain. In fact, many believe only one other commercial producer has created such a thing. It's gluten-free and pretty close to clear. The beer is made entirely of fonio, a grain eaten much the same way as rice. Two major kinds of grow in West Africa, black and white, and it looks like a lot of wild grass. Guinea produces the most fonio in the world, and it's sometimes called Acha, A-C-H-A, or Findi. Ketos is able to make the beer thanks to a special piece of equipment called a mash press filter. Trying to use fonio in a traditional brewing setup would most certainly fail, backing up equipment and throwing off the mashing process. Those who have tried the beer describe it as being on the lighter side. I would guess so if it's clear. Fruitier end of the spectrum. The one from Ketos comes in a 5% ABV and is available in a can or on draft. Brooklyn Brewing has made a version of it as well, one that the writer of the article has tried and deemed quite tasty. Will it be the next big thing in beer? We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, check out the manual, which is where I'm getting the stories, related feature on craft beer terminology and recent news piece on Utah professional hockey and beer. So clear beer, gentlemen.
Clear beer, but you said it's
We
made from
need
rice, which doesn't make
it's
it
made
beer.
from fonio, which is a grain. It's a grain that's very similar to rice.
Like
which
sake.
would make sense that it would clog a typical masher in a brewery.
To me, that sounds like you're making sake, not beer.
We need who is the singer of Van Halen that did Right Now? That was
That did you
Billy Roth or
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar to do something for this. You know,
He was what did he make? He made did he make his own thing? He made like tequila or something.
Cabo Wabo or
Cabo Wabo
tequila.
Mm-hmm.
But he's never come back to do the performance.
Yeah, I'm curious about the next one here because I'd really like to know if I should move to San Francisco or not.
San Francisco, which stands for
Wales. That's San Diego.
San Francisco Brewery offering dollar beers for life as prices rise everywhere. How would you like to drink beer for $1 for the rest of your life? That's what a local San Francisco brewery is offering right now, but the price has to be right. On January 27th, 3 days ago, Standard Deviant Brewing, located at 280 14th Street in the Mission District, posted a tongue-in-cheek video announcing the new program. In the video, general manager and part owner Peter Veit dons a beige herringbone blazer, has slipped-back hair, a thick mustache, and holds a microphone up like a 70s Ron Burgundy anchorman. Hey, check that out. He's on the scene at the brewery and reporting on the loyalty program, which offers customers a chance to lock in a low price of $5 pints, $3 pints, and $1 pints for all for life. He walks inside and interviews two patrons, one with a cartoon-sized Noggin Boss Washington Commanders hat, and the other wearing Zubaz pants and a Buffalo Bills jersey. They both say that because of the Forever Deviant loyalty program, they are paying only $3 and $5 respectively. Woo! That's a screaming deal, Vitt says, looking into the camera. To become a Forever Deviant member, you have to donate to one of the program's 3 tiers, a one-time payment of $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000.
All right, this is false advertising. I thought this was about
I
beer.
know.
Yeah.
I want that fridge that goes between yards.
Yes.
The proceeds will help the company open their forthcoming tap room at Pier 70, which co-owner Mike DeVito hopes to unveil by San Francisco Beer Week, which is February 21st through March 2nd. I think that's where I want to finish this story. There's not much to it. It's kind of an ad for the brewery. So moving on. Last but not least, Pringles teams up with Miller Lite to put a several pop-ups in front of me. What is going on here? You horrible, horrible website. Go away, pop-up. I can't read. Try it one more time. Refresh. Pringles teams up with Miller Lite for a... You son of a bitch. All right, well, you know what? We're not going to get around to this story because I can't get the pop-ups to disappear. So I'm just going to close it down, and that's your beer news, and be happy with it.
I misread the title of that article anyway. I thought it was going to be give me a recipe for beer can chicken, but it sounds like Pringles is making a beer can chicken flavored chip.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's good news. Sounds kind of nasty. We're going to go to our main segment. All right. We're going on to our main segment now. We're looking at actors who are
Hold that thought. I want to interject.
Yes.
Interjecting. From my research, which was lengthy and objective and fortuitous, I want to say that the first full-length movie documented was the story of the Kelly Gang in 1906.
Oh, wow.
It was about a 60 to 70-minute movie.
Wow.
So
I don't know if I'll be able to find that to watch on Tubi later, but we'll look for it.
Keep your eyes open.
Keep my eyes peeled for that movie that's well over 100 years old and see if it's still there. So we're going on our main segment tonight, which is actors going against their type. That's why we call the episode Against the Grain. These are actors who stepped outside of their normal comfort zones and had tried something a little different. Whether or not they were successful is up for debate, and so we will talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the actor, look at the clip I have for the movie that we picked out here, and I don't want to bash the wine or milk thing into the ground because I enjoyed doing it last week, but this is sort of like a wine or milk thing too. Like, is this performance wine or is this performance milk? So the first one we have on our list here, he's a really nice guy from everything that I've read and seen about him, but he's not the greatest actor in the world. He's really good in things like The Matrix. He's really good in John Wick because his wheelhouse are these, stoic action films where he doesn't have to talk a lot.
Well, can we go back a little bit? First, that wasn't his wheelhouse. His wheelhouse was the goofy guy from Bill and Ted.
Yeah, well, so like he started his career as that sort of like stoner surfer California guy because he did Bill and Ted, he did Parenthood. It was a similar character.
He did Point Break.
Point Break, which is that character, but in an action film. He did stretch a little bit in the 90s. He did a movie called My Own Private Idaho with River Phoenix that was sort of a dramatic turn.
And Parenthood.
Parenthood
with River Phoenix brother,
with
Leaf.
Phoenix's brother, Leaf Phoenix. Yeah.
Or as
he was known in Space Camp. But he really tried to stretch his chops when he did this late 90s Shakespearean adaptation written and directed by Kenneth Branagh called Much Ado About Nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this movie. I like Shakespeare, and this is one of my favorite Shakespearean comedies. But I don't know what is less believable. Keanu Reeves trying to speak Shakespearean English, or the fact that he's also supposed to be Denzel Washington's half-brother in the film. But here is a little clip of Keanu Reeves in Much Ado About Nothing playing the villain Don John.
I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make full show of this till you may do so without control.
Now, I unfortunately messed up in my editing there, and I clipped off the best part of that scene where he turns to him and says, "But thou shalt remember, I am a villain."
Whoa.
Well, I am a villain. Yeah, Keanu Reeves doing Shakespeare.
This performance was as good as him doing Dracula.
I was going to throw that out too. I was like, we should also mention Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula film with Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder. His English accent. Yeah. Very interesting English accent he has in that film. But Professor Von Helsing. So Keanu Reeves doing Shakespeare. Wine or milk?
Oh, it aged well.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but
you go milk.
It didn't look terrible.
It's a good movie. I mean, if you can tolerate Shakespeare, it's a good movie because it is a Shakespearean play.
If you can tolerate Kenneth Branagh,
Kenneth Branagh is really good in it. Emma Thompson's in it. She's amazing. Denzel Washington's really good in it. He's done Shakespeare more than that. He's done Macbeth as well. So he's
done an amazing job.
Michael Keaton is awesome in it as the comic relief character. And then there's like the usual staple of like Kenneth Branagh actors in the film. It's also the film debut of Kate Beckinsale. She was 18 years old when she did that movie. She plays the love interest of Robert Sean Leonard's character. He was, of course, Neil in Dead Poet Society. So it's a good cast, good movie. Just Keanu Reeves really sticks out when he has to do Shakespeare against other actors who can do Shakespeare. So I love the movie. The movie is wine. His performance is milk. The next one I have here, this one upsets me. It's John Candy and JFK. I'm going to go right off the bat here and say that this is a wine performance for me because he's amazing in this brief cameo scene that he has playing a real person, a lawyer named Dean who was a law student with Kevin Costner's character and has something to do with this whole trial trying to figure out who assassinated JFK. It's a dramatic role and John Candy's brilliant in it. And it made me upset because he died a couple years after this film. And I always wondered what would he have been able to do in a full dramatic role and not just a small cameo. Because he's really good in this. So I'm going to show you the brief clip and then we can talk about it some more.
Pipe the bimbo in red. Mm-hmm. Loaded.
Yeah, she's cute all right, but not half as cute as you, Dino.
Thank you.
You should try a legitimate line of business.
Why you dancing on my head for, my man? We've been thick as molasses pie since law
Keep conning
school.
me, Dean. I read your testimony to the Warren Commission.
Here you go again, grain of salt.
You tell them the day
2
after the
sides of quarter.
assassination, you're called on the phone by this Clay Bertrand and asked to fly to Dallas and be Lee Oswald's lawyer.
Right.
That's pretty important, Dean. You also told the FBI that when you met him, he's 6'2". Didn't you tell the commission he's 5'8"? Now, how the hell does a man shrink like that, Dean?
They put the heat on my man, just like you doing. I gave him anything that popped in my cabeza. Truth is, I never met the dude.
Oh, wonderful. One likes friends that have friends.
Indeed. I don't know what the cat looks like, and furthermore, I don't know where he's at. All I know is sometimes he sends me some cases. So one day he's on the phone talking to me about going to Dallas repping Oswald.
You ever speak to Oswald in Dallas?
Hell no. Like I told that Bertrand cat right off. Cashew piece? This ain't my scene, man. I deal in Munich court. I'm a hack and nigger
And how
town.
the
That
hell's
kid
your
needs a
name
hot
getting a
dog.
Warren Commission, Dean?
Like I told to the Washington boys. Bertrand called that summer and asked me to help the kid upgrade his Marine discharge.
Yeah, like he's phenomenal in this very brief cameo. It's like a 2-minute scene.
Very good.
I mean, against a movie full of cameos, and it's
Yeah.
a really good. It upsets me because I'm like,
Yeah.
I would love to have known what he could have done in some other like more dramatic roles.
Right.
Because unfortunately, his final film was a movie called Wagons East.
I thought it was Canadian Bacon.
Canadian Bacon. Well, yeah. So Canadian Bacon was the last film he made, but was released before Wagons East.
Oh, okay.
Even though he filmed that first, but you can tell, like in both of those films, that he doesn't look great in those movies. He looks tired. And he was 44 years old when he died. He had a heart attack, and it was like, just terrible because he's such a beloved actor. All of his movies are movies that I enjoy so much, and would love to have seen him getting a chance to do something different. Speaking of something different, our favorite actor to play multiple villains, even if they're villains in disguise, like Professor Snape, Alan Rickman, doing some comedy, and comedies you wouldn't really expect him to do, such as Dogma by Kevin Smith, and one of my favorite movies, Galaxy Quest.
You forgot one.
What do I got? Robin Hood?
No. For comedies, you forgot Hitchhiker's Guide.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, I don't think of it because it's a voice role for him, and like I forget sometimes. But yeah, that's another good one, another good like comedy role. But he wouldn't have done Hitchhikers, I don't think, if he wouldn't have done these other two films first.
Right, true.
And I debated putting Robin Hood on there, but it is a villain role. It's just a villain role where you choose the scenery. But I have these two films here, Dogma and Galaxy Quest.
Look, just take whatever you want, but don't kill or rape me.
Don't give over, will you? I couldn't rape you if I wanted to. Angels are ill-equipped. See? I'm as anatomically impaired as a Ken doll. Now make yourself useful and give me that towel, will you? Honestly, you bottom feeders and your arrogance, you think everybody's just trying to get in your knickers.
Alexander Day! Here! Hooray!
My grandfather's hammer, you shall be avenged.
Here! All right!
guy can act.
And finally...
By Grabthar's hammer. What a savings.
All right. Yeah, let's hear it.
Nobody plays what the savings. Nobody plays exasperated and annoyed quite like Alan Rickman. I was thinking somebody's trying to get inside your knickers. I had to pick that scene too. I had to. Yeah, I know. I do too. I had to pick the Ken doll scene. I just thought it was fun. There were so many good scenes I could have picked with him in it. Like I thought about the one where he's drinking the tequila, and spitting it out. I thought about the end when he's with God and they, kill the angels and stuff. And it's, if you want to hear more of our thoughts on Dogma, we did an anniversary episode I want to say about maybe 10 or 15 episodes ago. So you can check out one of our older episodes, our review of Dogma, before the rights were re-released to Kevin Smith, and we had to find interesting ways to watch the film. Anybody have anything else they'd like to say about Alan Rickman?
What I got?
Alan Rickman. This is Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Please
Reminded you
remember.
to buy rice.
Take the chicken out of the freezer. Do not disappoint me.
Leave your name and number at the beep. Beep.
Hello, Alan Rickman. This is Alan Rickman. Next one we have on our list is Robin Williams. I actually kind of debated whether or not I wanted to put Williams on here because I think even though we know he started his career mainly as a comedic actor, he has branched out enough doing different types of films.
Yeah, but even as his branch out, a lot of his drama was still comedy heavy.
Yeah, still had a little bit of the Williams humor in it.
Yeah.
But then I agree with you. Like these two, there were a couple other ones too, but these are the two that stand out the most to me. These are Robin Williams at his creepy best, playing a stalker in one film and a serial killer in the other. So the first film is 1 Hour Photo, possibly the creepiest film he's ever done. And the other one is Insomnia, I feel like a kind of forgotten film that he did with, it's a Christopher Nolan film that he did with Al Pacino, which is actually a really good film. And I recommend people check out if you haven't seen it. But here is Robin Williams first in 1 Hour Photo, and then in Insomnia.
What's this? What's this? Can't you stop your sniffling?
I was honoring her wishes.
A body dumped on a pile of garbage?
I was her friend.
You weren't a friend.
All right, acquaintance, all right? We were close, and I was just...
She was attractive. Did you have sex with her?
She was 17.
17, she was attractive.
Suppose?
Suppose. She was.
Right.
Well, so did you have sex with her?
No, I was her mentor.
You bought her things?
Yeah.
Gifts?
Yes.
What kind of gifts?
Books, mostly. That's what she loved.
Books?
Mm-hmm.
What about this? You give her this?
Yes.
Why? You want to see how she looked with it on?
No.
No? Why would you give her jewelry?
It's just a present.
Present?
Yeah.
Bought a lot of presents. You bought her dresses?
Yes, what's wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of mentor you were.
I gave her things she couldn't have.
You just want to fuck her. Son of a bitch! Tor! Get cool, sick bastard. Hey, you gotta cool down. Okay? Yeah. Cool down. All right.
What's funny is he's the serial killer, but Al Pacino's the one who's fucking on edge in that film.
Now, with this movie, I'm trying to remember. I know the whole basis of the Insomnia comes from an accident that I'm not going to, review. But aren't they in like an Alaskan town where it's like no night for a while? It's like 24 hours daylight for a while. Then, okay.
Yeah. So Pacino is I think he's a cop from like LA or something like that, and he gets sent up to Alaska to be support or consult on this case or something. And it's during the season where it's daylight all day long for like however long it is, and he can't sleep. Yeah, and like he can't sleep, and as he gets more and more tired and more delirious, he starts to have trouble like keeping things straight, and that's where some of the tension comes in, because at one point, like Robin Williams, I think you find out pretty early on that he's the killer, even though he's like denying it in that scene, and then the rest of the movie is Pacino just trying to like prove it, but like while he's losing his bearing on the world too. It's a good movie. I mean, it's definitely you can feel the Christopher Nolan of it all. 1 Hour Photo is a good movie too. Much creepier though. Much different role.
Yeah.
I love Robin Williams. One of my favorite actors. I could have even put maybe like Good Will Hunting on this because it was a different kind of role for him.
Yeah, because the more
because that's dramatic with less of the comedic Williams in it.
Yeah.
The next one I have on here is another good one here. Harrison Ford, who we know best for Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Witness and I guess Regarding Henry. I don't know.
Yeah. Air Force One.
Air
Get
Force
off
One.
my plane.
The Jack Ryan films that he did. Very rarely though does Harrison Ford play a villain like he did in this film, What Lies Beneath, with Michelle Pfeiffer. Talk about a film that time forgot. I haven't seen this one in forever.
This is a good
Well, he's about to play another villain.
Yeah, he's going to be the Red Hulk. We can say that's outside of his wheelhouse too, because he's doing a Marvel film. But this is a brief clip from the horror film What Lies Beneath. I picked that A because it's creepy and full of tension, and B because Michelle Pfeiffer's in a bathtub.
Yeah. You could also say another one that he did as I would say out of his type would have been 42.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, that's I didn't even think of that. He plays Branch Rickey, the guy that signed what's his name? Jackie Robinson, yeah, to the first to the major league contract, making him the first African American player in baseball. Yeah, that's a really good role because it's different. Because it's not just a different role for him, but he actually tries to change his voice and change his mannerisms to be the character he's playing.
Yeah,
and not just like Harrison Ford.
It's one of the few times that he's actually got, I don't want to say made up, but more makeup and
more playing a character, yeah, than just kind of being Harrison Ford in a film,
right?
I think of too, he was supposed to be in Jurassic Park. Like Spielberg wanted him for the role, and he turned it down because he felt like he didn't want people to watch the movie and just see Harrison Ford in a dinosaur film. He wanted it to be like people focusing on the film and not him.
Right.
And that's why Sam Neill in the film is sort of dressed like Indiana Jones. The next one I have here is I had to throw some actresses on here. I felt like I was being actor heavy with this. So I have Charlize Theron, mostly known for, just being a beautiful woman in many of her films and acting in some action films, some comedies, some dramas. She's an excellent actress and has done a number of different things. One of my favorite roles of hers, I probably could have put this one on there too, is when she was in 1 Million Ways to Die in the West with Seth MacFarlane. But I went with this one. This is the movie she won the Oscar for, Monster. It's based on a true story. She plays Eileen Wuornos, who was a woman who killed a bunch of men and then was put to death for it. The movie shows her from sort of the victim end because she was a victim of rape, and that kind of becomes her motivation for killing all these men. But she went through a major physical change for the role too, a lot of prosthetics and things like that, and so it's unrecognizable in that way as well. So here's a brief clip from the film Monster with Charlize Theron.
Fucking beats me up for it. You see, man, where the fuck do you think you're going? Huh?
Look, I'm not gonna. Look, I feel sorry for you.
Oh.
But if you want to ride, you better come on.
Shit, I don't need a ride, man. Yeah, I don't need a ride. Because I'm gonna take your car. Fucking think I'm stupid enough to get back into a fucking car with you when there's a...
Please.
She's brutal in that movie, man. It's a decent movie. It's got a weird song playing though at the end, when she's on death row. It's it takes you out of the film a little bit, but the rest of the movie's pretty good. That's all I had for Charlize Theron though. I know there's probably other ones I'm missing, but that's the one that obviously stands out because of the physical change.
Hancock.
Hancock. movie fucking blew. You know who else was in Monster that it's kind of like an outside role for her too? Is Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci
played her lover in the film, and it was kind of outside the box for her. Next one is Mike's favorite actor, Adam Sandler, who's known for all of his like really goofy, silly, terrible movies, but every now and then breaks out a dramatic role that's really good. He was in a movie called Punch Drunk Love, which is a really good dramatic film. Spanglish is a pretty good like comedy drama role that he was in. There's another one that I'm missing. I can't think of it right now, but there's others. But then there's this film. God damn it. I hate that goddamn movie. But then he did this film, Uncut Gems, which is amazing. And he was actually in talks for an Academy Award nomination because of how good he was in this film, and ultimately did not get a nomination. And it's probably because of his reputation as the kind of actor that he is normally. And he actually said in an interview, he threatened that if he didn't get an Academy Award nomination for this film, he would go on and make a string of some of the worst films ever made. And he lived up to that, because after this film and not getting the nomination, he then made Hubie Halloween and Ridiculous Six, which are really terrible films.
He was going to make them anyway.
He's going to make them anyway because Netflix pays him for that shit, so he don't care. He's getting a check. But this is him in Uncut Gems, where he plays a jewelry store owner with a gambling addiction. And this is a scene between him and actual NBA player Kevin Garnett, who actually does a pretty decent job in the film acting as well. So here it is.
You want to win by 1 point or fucking 30 points, KG, right? I see you out there when the fucking stadium's all booing you. You're 30 up, you're still going full tilt. Let's see what does Vegas got you guys at tonight? Take a look. Let's see.
Are you serious? You're gonna put this up right here?
Look at this shit. The Sixers are supposed to win the game tonight, they think.
We don't keep track of none of that shit.
They think on game 7 you're not gonna get fucking 18 points. They don't think you're gonna get 8 rebounds?
These guys don't know shit about
What the fuck are they doing? Doesn't that make you want to fucking kill them? Doesn't that make you want to say fuck you for doubting me? Doesn't that make you want to step on fucking Elton Brand's fucking neck? Come on, KG, this is no different than that. This is me, all right? I'm not a fucking athlete. This is my fucking way. This is how I win.
There's an interesting way that they film that too. Is the music in the background is designed to like heighten your tension physically, so that the movie feels more tense. Nolan used a similar trick in Dunkirk, where like the music is
ticking,
subtly tense, you know.
Yeah.
From one of Mike's favorite actors, Adam Sandler, to another one of Mike's favorite actors, Jim Carrey.
Blow him.
Who also can put in an amazing dramatic performance when he needs to. I have on this list Man on the Moon, where he plays Andy Kaufman, and The Truman Show, which is one of my favorite films of his.
I would swap out your Truman Show because he does some of his shtick.
Yeah.
And I'd put in there The Majestic.
The Majestic. I was thinking Sunshine on the Spotless Mind, or Sunlight on the Spot, whatever that one is, because that's a good one too. Now, also in. Go ahead, Mike.
And Man on the Moon, he was very method with that.
Oh yeah,
and it pissed off like Jerry Lawler. Like, I knew the man. The man wasn't actually like that.
Yeah. He pissed off a lot of people. He almost gave the director Milos Forman a nervous breakdown. Milos Forman has been making movies for 50-something years as an Academy Award-winning director, and Jim Carrey almost broke him. There's a documentary I saw. It was on Netflix. It was called, I think it was called The Man They Call Andy or something like that. And it was a documentary about the making of this movie, and how like Jim Carrey himself like had a nervous breakdown because he went so method with it and all that. You can see it though, because he really embodies Andy Kaufman in this film. So here is a clip of Man on the Moon and a quick clip of Truman Show.
Say something, goddammit. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
I was like with the Man in the Moon one, I was debating. I was like, I really want to do the Mighty Mouse from SNL because it's such an iconic Andy Kaufman thing, and he does a good job of embodying it. But I was also like struggling with doing the end of the film when he finds out he has cancer and nobody believes him because they think it's another one of his bits, and that's where he really gets dramatic with the film. So now that I brought the show down, let's go to something funny. So the next one I have here is De Niro, good old Bobby D, best known for his probably his mobster roles. Mike, you saying something? Best. Yeah. So Bobby D, who's probably best known for movies like Goodfellas and Mean Streets and Raging Bull, all his dramatic roles. He was kind of method too early in his career. And then in the 80s, he decided he wanted to try comedy. And so he did one of my favorite movies of all time, Midnight Run. Showed that he had some pretty good comedic chops. But again, it was a comedian sort of like tough guy role.
Right.
And then it was in 2000, as we found out earlier when we looked it up, he did Meet the Parents, a Ben Stiller comedy where he plays the future father-in-law of Ben Stiller's character. And he's sort of the straight man, but it's funny because he's the straight man.
And that encouraged him to take on roles like Analyze This and Rocky and
Analyze
Bullwinkle.
that. Analyze this, analyze that. Unfortunately, Rocky and Bullwinkle. He had a string of some really bad films for a while. It wasn't until like Silver Linings Playbook that he did like a pretty good film again, and then with The Irishman and films like that. He's got a new one coming out that looks pretty interesting. It's called Alto Nights, and he plays two characters in the film. And it's a true story about two real mobsters, and he plays the two mobster roles. He's playing opposite himself. But here it's Meet the Parents and Midnight Run, two comedic roles for Robert De Niro. As soon as I can find it. And here it is. All right.
I had no idea you could milk a cat.
Oh, yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Excuse me, Willie, I got it. I think it's me. Jack, that you?
Listen, I need you to wire me $500 to the Western Union office in Amarillo, Texas, right away.
Wait a minute, what do you need with $500 on a bus? And why the fuck aren't you on a plane?
Did it ever occur to you that I am a professional and that I might have my reasons? We are driving now, and I only have enough cash to get to Amarillo. We had to scrap the bus.
Fuck the bus! I want to know what happened to the goddamn plane!
He doesn't like to fly.
He doesn't like to fly? What the fuck does that mean? Listen to me, Jack. You gotta be back here in less than 2.5 fucking days. $500,000 of my money. What the fuck is going on there?
Eddie, I swear to God, don't start with me now, or I will shoot him and I will dump him in a fucking swamp.
There was another actor there that does a lot of different things.
Yeah, Joe
Pantoliano.
Yeah.
Joe Pantoliano, yeah.
Bad guy,
Joey
bad
Pants.
guy. Funny guy, bad guy in Goonies.
Yeah. So, Meet the Parents, I had no doubt what clip I was picking. It was I have nipples, can you milk me, Greg? Midnight Run, I had a lot of different scenes I can pick, but I picked that one because I just love the very end of it where he's like, I will shoot him and throw him in a fucking swamp, and then looks at him and goes, shakes his head real quick. It's a great little beat. But there's that good scene in Midnight Run where they're on the train together having a conversation and they start to like bond for the first time. So those are mine. But am I missing anything for De Niro? I'm sure I'm missing something because there's so many goddamn movies in his repertoire.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle as fearless leader. We watched that clip on what was the episode we did? It was good actors and bad movies or something like that.
Yep.
And so like I showed that clip where he does the parody of Taxi Driver as fearless leader. I'm trying to think, is there any other movies that he was in where you could say he was kind of against type, but I mean, there's nothing that's like popping in my head right away.
Well, you could say Raging Bull because he wasn't gangster then.
Yeah, but it was still like it's a dramatic role, and it was a role that he was method for. Like he's method very early in his career, everything was method. So like for Raging Bull, he gained like 60 pounds to play the older version of Jake LaMotta. He did the same thing on Untouchables. He gained like 30 some pounds or something to play Al Capone. For Cape Fear, he got himself all like ripped and toned to play like this, guy that's been in prison and all that. And it was later in his career where he gave up on all that shit. I thought about adding Al Pacino in Jack and Jill doing the Dunkachino song, but like we already did that one too. Next one I have on the list here is Tom Hanks. Kevin added The Circle, where he plays a villain opposite Emma Watson and John Boyega. I have not seen the movie though. You've seen it? I'm assuming, right, Kev?
I started to watch it. Me and Megan got about 3/4 of the way through, and it's a tough one to finish.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about it, and like reviews and stuff. So I know he plays the villain in the film, but I've never actually seen it. The one that I picked out for him. So Tom Hanks is another interesting guy because started out as a comedic actor on Bosom Buddies, and then he did Bachelor Party and The Money Pit and The Burbs, Turner and Hooch, Big, and all these like classic comedy films. And then it was in the '90s that he did Philadelphia and won an Oscar, and then did Forrest Gump, which he won an Oscar for. And then that turned into like the dramatic career where he was in Apollo 13, he was in Saving Private Ryan, and he was in That Thing You Do, which he directed and acted in, and all these other projects. And then he does this film that I feel like it needs more love because this is a really good movie.
So
Road to Perdition.
This would be one where he could be really against character, and I mean, I know he put on weight for the character, but he just looked like a fat-ish hitman. He could. I mean, we've never seen him build himself up. Action hero Tom Hanks. That would be against character.
That would be against type. I don't know if there's an action hero Tom Hanks.
There is not.
I feel like he tried it with
Joe versus a volcano.
Joe versus volcano. You in that fucking movie? I'm thinking of what's the movie? Da Vinci Code. Like I feel like that was him trying to be sort of like action hero. Tom Hanks.
If an academic was an action hero.
It was like
hey, Indiana Jones is an academic.
Yes, it's like it was the long hair verging on mullet Tom Hanks from Da Vinci's Code. But this film, like he's playing a hitman, and that's the against type part is he's playing a killer for hire, working for Paul Newman's Irish gangster character. And it's a very intense role. He starts out sort of like the villain, kind of has a redemption arc in the film, but it's a violent film and not the usual like lighthearted kind of Tom Hanks role. So here's a little clip from The Road to Perdition.
I'm glad it's you.
Great movie. I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, I feel like I need to rewatch that.
Mhm.
Paul Newman's last film.
Mhm.
It's also kind of there's another actor in that film who's kind of like against type in a movie. It's Daniel Craig. Is in it
Yeah.
he plays Paul Newman's son, and he's sort of like this whiny, drug-addled, like loser son of the gangster, and that's why he
Gets
loves
away
Tom
with
Hanks so
everything.
much.
Yeah.
Right, and he loves Tom Hanks because he's like the son he always wish he had.
Yeah.
The next one I have is
Fun
Leslie.
fact. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Give me your
I
fun
was
fact.
just
I
going
like
to
fun
say
facts.
the actor who played Tom Hanks' son throughout the movie, Michael Sullivan, Tyler Hoechlin, portrayed Superman on the TV series Superman and Lois.
That's right. Yeah. He was in that. I never watched the show, but I remember reading that he was the actor who grew up to be Superman. Fun fact. I finished an entire bottle of wine.
Oh, okay. We're barely halfway
Yes,
through the list.
I do have to work tomorrow. The next one I have on here is Leslie Nielsen. Now you might say, wait, Leslie Nielsen, he was in Airplane, he was in
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, he was in Mr.
Dracula,
McGee.
Dead, Loving It.
Like, why would I put him on this list? Well, here's why.
He was a dramatic actor first.
Exactly. In early in his career, he was a dramatic actor. I think he was in the Poseidon Adventure, wasn't he? I believe. Yeah, so
yep.
he did a lot of dramatic films early in his career, and then did Airplane, and this is what launched him into that, goofy satire-ish type comedy role that he played the rest of his career. So this is a scene from Airplane.
Captain, how soon can you land?
I can't tell.
You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
But can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
No. I mean, we can't land for another 2 hours. Fog has closed down everything this side of the mountains. We've got to get through to Chicago.
And it's funny, you can see the early Frank Drebin in that role, like, because it's he's so serious, but everything is so goofy. Next one we have here is, you have anything to say about this and Nielsen, or should I move on?
Move on.
Matthew McConaughey, who spent majority of his career as a romantic lead, a lot of like really terrible romantic comedies, and then he made a gamble when he told his agent, "I'm not doing any more movies unless they're good roles, dramatic role." Like, he took a gamble, didn't work for a couple of years, and then came out with Dallas Buyers Club, which he won an Oscar for Best Actor, and then that led to things like Interstellar. Magic Mike, which is actually a dramatic film, believe it or not. He was in Wolf of Wall Street. He had a cameo role. Dallas Buyers Club. He was in a movie called Mud, where he plays a killer. Interstellar, and a number of other films now. So he's like, he's moved on to that sort of dramatic actor role. For this clip, though, for Dallas Buyers Club and Interstellar, I have a very special montage. So let me pull up my Matthew McConaughey montage as soon as I can find it. Here it is.
Right. Part of the movie.
Yeah, it was not. It was my crying McConaughey montage that somebody memed. He's actually in that real scene. He's crying when he sees the video
from
of
his
his daughter
daughter.
grown up.
Yeah.
His daughter grown up. Yeah,
Not a little boy shooting himself in the nuts.
but I love the Dallas Buyers Club laugh or cry is almost comedic. It's like he cries in a southern accent. I don't know how that's possible.
All right, all right, all right.
All right. I debated whether or not I wanted to put the Wolf of Wall Street chest thumping scene in there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna move on. You know what else he's really good in? And this came around the same time. Was the first season of True Detective. There's McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. Here's another guy, Woody Harrelson, who went from Cheers to like one of the finest dramatic actors we've ever had.
I thought you were going to say the movie Larger Than Life.
I think his first major role was The People versus Larry Flint. He also did Zombieland, which is awesome. The next one I have here is Anne Hathaway, who went from being sort of like a Disney star with things like The Princess Diaries and Ella Enchanted and all that stuff, and then decided she needed to break away from that teenage actress mold and started doing dramatic films like Brokeback Mountain, Les Miserables, a number of other things in the meantime. But the scenes that I chose were from Les Mis and Brokeback Mountain. I should have had this ordered better. Here we go.
On the truck out on a back road when the tire blew up. The rim of the tire slammed into his face, broke his nose and jaw, and knocked him unconscious on his back. By the time somebody come along, he drowned in his own blood. He was only 39 years old. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Was he buried down there?
He put a stone up. He was cremated like he wanted. Half his ashes was interred here. The rest is sent up with his folks. He used to say he wanted his ashes scattered on Brokeback Mountain, but I wasn't sure where that was. I thought Brokeback Mountain might be around where he grew up. Knowing Jack, it might be some pretend place where bluebirds sing and there's a whiskey spring.
Oh man, we was herding sheep and broke back one summer. Back in '63.
Well, he said it was his favorite place. I thought he meant to get drunk. He drank a lot.
Is this folks still up in Lightning Flat?
I'll be there to the day they die.
I thank you for your time. I sure am sorry. We was good friends.
Get in touch with his folks. Suppose they'd appreciate it if his wishes was carried out. About the ashes, I mean.
The years together, there are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms we cannot weather. I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living, so different, no, from what it seemed. No, life has killed the dream.
Yeah.
Has she won anything?
Then she was
She
Catwoman.
seems like she should have won something by now.
She won the Oscar for Les Miserables.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was
she won
good.
Best Supporting Actress for Les Miserables. My favorite facts about that is that she won the Oscar for playing Fantine, and her mom originated the role of Fantine on Broadway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I always thought was kind of cool. That scene in
I want-
Brokeback Mountain. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I wanted to step back real quick to Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
There
Mhm.
was, I think, the movie that really showed that he could be a dramatic actor
Mhm.
was what was it called? Shit.
The Dark Tower.
No, A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill. Yeah, Time to Kill is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really that's 96. So that's like one of his really first.
It's
dramatic
early in
roles.
his it was early in his career, and it was like right after that though, that he started doing that string of like really terrible romantic comedies.
Yeah.
So
It
like
was
you
the
got
money
an
he
early
got
glimpse.
from Larger Than Life that he used to be able to do A Time to Kill.
You bring this movie up, man. No, what's the movie he did with Gary Oldman where Gary Oldman played a midget? It was Tiptoes. You ever seen Tiptoes? Gary Oldman plays a dwarf.
Gary Oldman can play anything.
It's basically Gary Oldman walking around on his knees with his shoes on his knees, like when fucking like Tim Conway used to do Dwarf. Yeah, it was like. I remember.
I really thought you said it was Gary Coleman, and I was like, well,
no, it's Gary Oldman.
Hold on.
Gary Oldman is the ultimate chameleon in movies.
No, dude, this movie's so bad. Just watch the trailer. McConaughey was on Bert Kreischer's podcast, and they were talking about this movie Tiptoes, and Bert Kreischer showed him the trailer and said, "Tell me this is a parody, this is a joke," and McConaughey's like, "Nah, this is a real film. Somebody wrote a script and everything." And he's like, "But that's Gary Oldman." He goes, "Yeah, that's Gary Oldman playing the dwarf." Yeah, and then in the trailer it goes, "Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime." And he's like, "Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime." He was laughing like he hadn't seen the trailer in so long. You gotta look it up. Tiptoes. It's bizarre.
Okay.
Back to Anne Hathaway. The Brokeback Mountain scene that I showed. She was married to Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and she's talking about how he died, and you get the sense from like the flashback scenes that she's lying, and he was killed. He was killed because he was found out that he was gay, and the look on her face when she says he wanted to be buried at Brokeback Mountain, and then Heath Ledger says, "Oh, we spent a summer there herding sheep." The look on her face, like when she drops and it's like, "This is the guy that he was cheating on me with," is just such an amazing like facial acting right there. It's a heartbreaking movie. Next one I have on here. Go ahead, Mike.
And then she plays Catwoman
and then she plays Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises, and Mike just can't get over her bending over on the bat cycle. All Mike talks about from that movie is
was there anything else that happened in that movie?
There were other elements, Michael.
There was?
You only adopted the darkness. I was born there.
Yeah, like I said, was there really anything better?
Next one I have on the list here is Jonah Hill, who again was another comedic actor. Started in a lot of the Judd Apatow films, and then made a shift to drama when he did Moneyball with Brad Pitt, which he was nominated for. And again, another nomination for Wolf of Wall Street, the Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio film. So here's a couple clips from Moneyball and Wolf of Wall Street.
Shot or Phillips? Why would we call Phillips, man? Phillips has got to call us.
Tell them I'm on the other line.
Hi, Mr. Schott. It's Peter Brand. I apologize for putting you on hold earlier. Billy asked me to call you back. He's on another line.
We want $225,000 for Rincon.
Billy says he needs $225,000 for Ricardo Rincon. Please. Yes, I added the please at the end. Okay, let me hold on 1 second, please.
Tell him I'll pay for him. But when I sell him back for twice the amount next year, I keep the money.
Okay, so Billy says he'll pay for Rincon himself, but when he sells him for more money next year, he's keeping the profit. Okay, thank you very much. We'll call you back. Thank you. Come on! Come on!
Excuse me. Is that your car on the lot?
Yeah.
That's a nice ride.
Thanks, man.
County A's off.
Hey, George Belfort.
How
Nice
you
to
doing?
meet you.
You know, actually, I see that car around. I see it around a lot.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I think we live in the same building.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. 12th floor?
Yeah, what floor are you on?
4th floor. Married for little kids.
Right.
Ugly wife.
Yeah.
What do you do, bro?
What do you mean, what do I do?
For work, what do you do?
I'm a stockbroker.
Stockbroker?
Yeah.
Children's furniture.
Oh, good for you.
It's all right. You make a lot of money.
Yeah, I do all right for myself.
I'm trying to put it together. You got your fucking nice car. We live in the same building. I'm not understand how much money you make.
I don't know. 70,000 last month.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I'm serious too. Seriously, how much money you make?
I told you, 70,000. Well, technically 72,000 last month, something like that.
You made 72 grand in 1 month.
Yeah.
I tell you what. You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you. Hey, Paulie, what's up? No, no, everything's fine. Hey, listen, I quit.
No, everything's fine. Hey,
I quit. I wish.
I worked for a guy that reminded me that character reminded me of
Who, the Donnie Azoff character from Wolf of Wall Street?
I worked for a guy like that.
So I like, I love both of those scenes because they're dramatic roles, but you get to see a little different side of them in both films. Whenever we do episodes like this, I'm always like, man, I got to rewatch this. I got to rewatch this. I got to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Never have enough time to rewatch that and rewatch it.
No.
I would love to watch Moneyball and Wolf of Wall Street all over again. Next one I have here is Steve Carell, who another comedic actor, started on The Daily Show, was on The Office for however many seasons that ran. He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin, a lot of other Judd Apatow films as well. And then made a dramatic turn when he did a movie called Foxcatcher, the story of John DuPont, the billionaire who was a wrestling enthusiast and in a fit of jealousy, rage, and psychosis, killed the wrestling coach for his team that he sponsored and went to prison. And this is Steve Carell in a very different role, playing the character DuPont in the movie Foxcatcher.
Hey, John. What's happening? Hey, whoa.
No, John.
Do you have a problem with me?
John, don't, John.
John, I don't have a problem. Hey, John.
John! No! Stop, John!
He's lucky he didn't turn to the Hulk and kick his ass.
Yeah, I was going to say that was Mark Ruffalo getting shot just there. I could have put Mark Ruffalo on this list for Poor Things.
Oh.
As terrible or as much as I dislike that film, he was incredible in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Steve Carell, a very creepy role. He did go on to play a couple other dramatic roles here and there before getting trapped playing Gru in a Despicable Me franchise. And then the last one we have on this list, a late addition, Joe Pesci, another actor.
Is it the last one we have on the list?
Why did you add another one?
Are you sure it's the last one we have on the list?
God damn it, man! I gotta find that one. All right. So anyway, we got one more. We got two more on the list. We're gonna stop adding things though, because as I said, I already drank a full bottle of wine, and now I'm really like starting to pay for it.
I'm sorry, that last one.
Yeah.
No, it's always Tom Cruise playing Tom Cruise playing Tom Cruise.
Oh no, not in that movie, man. It sounds like Tom Cruise. It don't look like Tom Cruise. Anyway, the next one we have is Joe Pesci, who again started his career in roles like Raging Bull, Goodfellas, a lot of dramatic roles. Did do My Cousin Vinny and Home Alone, some other like comedies in the '90s, but really mostly known for his dramatic like gangster roles. And then he did this little film called With Honors, where he plays a homeless man who befriends a bunch of students at Harvard. I didn't have this one prepped, so I have to play the YouTube video. So let me bring that up real quick.
Oh, me?
Yes. Do you have an opinion on this?
No.
Are you a student in this class?
No.
Are you a guest?
No, I'm a bum.
There are no bums. There are only the financially challenged.
No, I'm a bum. But bear in mind, I'm a Harvard bum.
You must be the logical result of an open admissions policy.
No, sir. My presence here is the logical result of the search for edible garbage.
You're here for the garbage.
That's right. Colleges produce a lot of garbage. And Harvard produces more than most.
What wit. Inspired, no doubt, by wild turkey. You ask for charity, pleading that society has failed you and you need help. But actually, you're quite capable, and what you really want is alcoholic bliss.
I would rather drink rubbing alcohol than listen to you, if that's what you mean.
And according to the 21st Amendment, you can drink anything you want.
Simon. Which door do I leave from?
At Harvard, we don't end our sentences with prepositions.
Well, in that case, which door do I leave from, asshole?
What democratic eloquence.
You asked the question, sir. Let me answer it. The genius of the Constitution is that it can always be changed. The genius of the Constitution is that it makes no permanent rule other than its faith in the wisdom of ordinary people to govern themselves.
Faith in the wisdom of the people is exactly what makes the Constitution incomplete and crude.
Crude? No, sir. Our founding parents were pompous, middle-aged white farmers, but they were also great men because they knew one thing that all great men should know, that they didn't know everything. They knew they were going to make mistakes, but they made sure to leave a way to correct them. They didn't think of themselves as leaders. They wanted a government of citizens, not royalty. A government of listeners, not lecturers. A government that could change, not stand still. The president isn't an elected king, no matter how many bombs he can drop, because the crude Constitution doesn't trust him. He's a servant of the people. He's a bum, okay, Mr. Pitcairn? He's just a bum. And the only bliss that he's searching for is freedom and justice.
Again, a forgotten role it is sometimes.
Yeah.
I think like, it's a good movie. I'm reaching emergency status here, so let's get to the last one that Kevin just added here. Tom Cruise, best known for being Tom Cruise.
As Tom Cruise.
Best known for being the crazy little man he is. But one of my favorite roles of his is as Les Grossman in the film Tropic Thunder, a very rare comedic role for him that is just a pretty wonderful scene. So Kevin brought this up for us. So let me bring this YouTube video up and share it with you. So this is Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise. I gotta share the screen. Hold on. I'm gonna share the screen here because this is not something I had prepped. Here we go. Les Grossman, Tropic Thunder.
Grossman, who is this?
This is Flaming!
Okay, Flaming Dragon, fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia, Jack, territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up. Did you find out who that was? Yeah, go.
Then when I saw you added the scene, I thought it was. I half expected to see the scene of him dancing to apple bottom jeans.
I thought that would go on a little too long.
Then my favorite line in the film is when he says to Bill Hader, he's like, "You did a good job tonight," and he's like, "Really, sir?" He's like, "No, Nutless Monkey could have done your fucking job."
I was also thinking Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze in Tu Wong Fu.
We're done. We're done. You have any beer trivia or history for us this evening, sir?
Yes. Oktoberfest in Munich is the most famous of German beer festivals, but there are others well worth attending. Among the Cannstatter Oktoberfest in Stuttgart this year is planned for Saturday, September 22nd through Sunday, October 6th. So, Stuttgart, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
We have a cinema quote of the week, Kev.
Yep. Having Nestle coffee spokesperson on your tombstone is a great thing. Oh, sorry. My bad. Let me try that again. Having Oscar winner on your tombstone is a great thing. From George Clooney. Also
Two things. One, it's Nespresso. And two, wouldn't you have to request Oscar winner on your tombstone? Like, I don't think they just put it on your tombstone because you won an Oscar. All right. Films and fermentation, movies and premiere. I don't know why that happened.
Jesus.
Thanks for joining us for episode 181 Against the Grain. Movies, actors. I drank a whole bottle of wine tonight. Actors acting against type. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Remember, you can drop us a line at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. Find all of our social media podcast links. Or you can watch us on Roku now on the Pod Nation Media Network. If you have Roku, just download the app. You can also support us by going to patreon.com/filmsoffermentation or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. And you can send us a direct text at 904-867-4466. We hope you join us for our next episode, which is going to be our Valentine's Day special. So join us at the crossroads between pickled and fermented for episode 182, Movies That Even Guys Could Cry At. That's going to be our special Valentine's Day episode. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.